Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. This is a video to say we're okay, but I need an explanation. At the end of the day, obviously some people were quite worried with that video yesterday, and at the time I filmed it, so was I. I wasn't thinking straight, I didn't backtrack. All I was concerned about was the fact that I wasn't right, I was wobbly, feeling unstable, slightly lightheaded when I moved quickly, and things were not okay. So that's what it was like then. As the day progressed, those problems slowly but surely were disappearing. So the semi-panic was easing off to the point where I probably relaxed more and the problem went away even quicker. By the time it got to the evening, sitting down watching a bit of telly, I felt fine. I even jumped out of the chair quickly to see if I could bring it on again, to see if it was that, and it wasn't. So today I got up this morning and I was fine, that's good. And then I started thinking back to recall the events. And they often say the obvious answer is probably the right answer. And I just put the pieces together. We had a problem with the toe, and the nail had grown so long it was banging on my shoes and things and becoming painful. And I needed to cut it, and it was very thick. So what did I do? Had a long soak in the bath. Soften up the toenail, relax. I enjoy a nice bath. What happened the previous time in the bath? We dunked our head in the water and we had a serious problem with one of our ears, didn't we? It was completely bunged up and all echoey. Obviously my ears don't like water in them. I just had a bath, probably got water in my ears, yeah? Add to the story on that was the day before, on this day with the wobbly, and everything. The night before, I'd had a chilli for tea, a hot chilli. Pieces coming together, bath, water in ears, chilli for tea, falling into the sleep on the chair, and obviously that was a deep sleep because I slept till after midnight. I had my tea, my hot chilli, at around 4:45. That had had plenty of time to do its work and actually think, I'm not sure I'm going to stay there, I think I might be coming out. I woke up with a start, 2 reasons. Mojo jumped on my lap. Secondly, I needed to get to the toilet urgently, so I jumped out of the chair quickly. That's a head rush. Anybody can get that any time. You've just come out of a deep sleep, yeah? So your heart rate's low, blood pressure's probably dropped a bit because of that, and then you suddenly burst into action. So I toppled over. Oh, geese going over, yeah? And then we get to the next day, which was the day I filmed yesterday, when I wasn't right. Now we're back to a bit weak, lost all the food that we had the day before down the toilet, one way or the other. And didn't get a very good night's sleep overall on the grounds that it was disturbed halfway through because I'd slept in the chair. So I ended up getting up yesterday morning, a bit weak, wobbly, probably due to the water in the ears. Yeah? So you put all the pieces together and I think we can sort of say the panic is over, but I'll add the words for now. Because although that all sounds perfectly reasonable, I could be wrong. And it could be something more serious. But I always go along the lines, if you've got something wrong with you that's serious, you will get repeated incidents. So that's incident 1. Let's wait for incidents 2. And if it follows a bath, we know what it is, don't we? Perhaps I ought to stick to the shower. Anyway, so hopefully that's eased people's minds. The thought of a mini stroke and things like that, there were too many things not right for it to be that. I mean, I don't believe I have a blood pressure issue, but that is something I need to get sorted, because I've had a text from my from the NHS basically to actually say they could do with a blood pressure reading, and if I haven't got something to be able to do it at home, I can come along to the surgery, which is in fact a pharmacy, a chemist, and there is a gadget there in reception. The only problem is, this is the problem with our NHS, it's not working, it's all wrong. The pharmacy and the surgery has moved from what was like a house on a road, therefore you could park in the road. It's now moved into the grounds of Christchurch Hospital. There is no free parking, and it's not cheap. That includes all the doctors and nurses. They have to pay to park, or they have to park a long way away in some side road and walk. It's not fair. They're not treating people right, and they're not treating the employees right either. So that put me off going. I will get round to doing that at some point, because I know where I can park relatively close by and stroll in, you know, on a nice day when I've got nothing else to do. And I'm feeling brave. But yeah, that's something that they've actually requested, so perhaps we ought to get that checked out. But you know, there are quite a few signs of high blood pressure. You know, that can be due to high cholesterol, that stuff, cholesterol. Could be a combination of the two, I don't know. I did do a home cholesterol test, but this was back at the other house a while ago, and there was nothing wrong with that. It read, you know, just at the high end of normal, about to go into the next one up, if you see what I mean, but it was okay. So in theory, I'm going to put that down to, I've obviously got a problem with ears. That's a relatively recent thing, you know, but you know, these things change, you get older, don't you? And water in my ears seems to be having quite an adverse effect. So we'll try and avoid that if we can. Yeah, hot curries for tea. Combine all those things together, including leaping out of the chair in the desperate dash to get to the toilet, and I think we've probably resolved the issues. And the fact that it eased off during the day, yeah? If it had been getting worse, then we might have had to do something about it. And obviously, you know, there's taxis, there's ways of getting transport if you can't drive yourself, so I could have sorted it out. I've got a mobile phone, you know, I could have dealt with that. But the fact that it was getting better and easing off at a reasonable rate, I thought, well, let's wait and see where we go with it. And then we got up this morning and we're right as rain. So we're going to let it go for now. But thanks for all your concern. I've got more views on that video than I get on my Sunday chat. I'll have to be ill more often, you know, boost the channel. I am joking, but it did. You have a look at the views on that video. Anyway, I did a quick one when I got up this morning, because once I started looking at my comments, that took me a while this morning as well. Thanks, I'm not moaning. Thanks for bothering is the most important thing I think to say. And the concern. But it made me feel guilty, sort of thing. I got people worried and stuff, so I did a quick video this morning. You can disregard that one now. I was still on my first coffee in my dressing gown. Mojo was still outside, you know, he always goes out first thing. That's another thing this morning, there's a dead rat on the patio out here. That could have been Mojo. He did go out a couple of times yesterday evening. And other cats do come in the garden as well, so. Anyway, yeah, I'm okay. Things are fine. Now, I did manage to do some more watering yesterday. In my video I said I wasn't sure how far I'd get. Well, I got round to here, so everything that side of here has been done, which leaves this little bit here, which isn't much. And because it's now due, my cooler, shadier set can be brought in today as well, as they're due a flush, and so is this. So we'll get the rest of the watering done. And yeah, sort of catch up a bit. I might even, there's two plants that I want to plant in the garden, and I'm hoping they will, each of those plants will split into 3 small ones, giving me 6. The idea being is to plant that circle where all the paths come together out in the garden, because that's not dependent on the plants from Carol. Until I get the plants from Carol and see what I've got, I don't know where these plants are going to go. So, but I do know where those 2 plants are going to go. They'll either split into 2, which gives me 4, or hopefully 3, which gives me 6, which will make a nice circle. That's the theory. So I might have a go at that today. Now, don't start panicking that I'm going to do my knees in. For the amount of time it will take to do those few little plants, I can crouch down and do that. I can still crouch, the Asian crouch. It's the way we should bend. It's how it should be done. Not bending over like with your whole weight leaning forward. That's not how it should be done. I can still do that and just about get up again. For now, yeah, I know, that piece of mobility will be taken away from me one day. Yeah, so I'm going to crack on today at a leisurely pace. I don't plan on overdoing it today, in case, you know. So, yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it on the grounds that it is probably, all those elements are the logical answer when pieced together as a sequence. So yeah, it just needs a straight head to be able to think things like that through. And obviously if you've got a problem, there's a stress element, isn't there, which doesn't do you any good. That raises your blood pressure, doesn't it? You know, when you get worried about stuff because you're not right. That's a worry, and a worry is a stress element, so, you know. So we'll get rid of all that nonsense for today and have a nice leisurely day before the rains come. I think it's sunny at the moment, although, yeah, it's sunny at the moment. Give it its due. And I have got stuff to do. I really need to get some trips to the tip done to get rid of all the garden rubbish. But because of yesterday, I'm not going to drive for a couple of days in case I get a reoccurrence. I won't know immediately, so we'll let the car go by the way for a bit. Safety thing, you know. So we'll see how it goes. I think I'm fine, but you know, we will give it a break for a bit and yeah, just potter about today, finish this watering off, possibly get those couple of plants in the garden so that there's something going forward. There's still quite a bit outstanding in the garden, but some of it is dependent on Hannah. She's not actually down for a while. I haven't had my house inspection yet, and I haven't had the phone call, so that's now going to be next week sometime. The trouble is, all the tidying up and everything that was done is starting to get untidy again now because they haven't come round yet. But I am expecting that to happen next week. We shall see. And yeah, I think I'll leave it at that for today. Now, it is Friday. I am supposed to be doing the Project Orchids video today, but I've already done one quick one this morning. I am going to post this one because I'm worried about people worrying, if you see what I mean. So I want to get this one posted. So I'm going to leave the Project Orchids video, which is, I think we're up to orchid number 7. That will be tomorrow now, so that'll be Saturday's video. It's my little Robin now, come to see me. It's not the same one. It's not actually the robin that was here last winter that was as tame as anything, almost landed on my shoulder once. It's not the same one, it's a different one. This one's a bit more timid. Yes, so we'll leave the Project Orchids till tomorrow. That will be you know, a lightweight video that I can do tomorrow. I forget which orchid it is, but get that done. And then I've got another weekend. This weekend now is a nothing weekend. I haven't got anything on, like any meetings or shows or anything, so it's a sort of leisurely weekend. Yeah, which in the circumstances I think I need, so we'll take advantage of that, I think. And thanks for your concerns again. It is a little humbling when people show that level of concern. Bearing in mind, this is all you know, really. I could be a horrible person, you know, really, in real life. I'm not, but I could be. What you can be in front of a camera and what you actually are, not necessarily the same things. And I'm sure some do play that game the YouTube game. I can't be bothered, it's too much effort. So what you see is what you get. Those that have met me have said, you know, you're exactly the same as you are on the videos. Well, isn't that good? I think it is anyway. So thanks for dropping by. See you next time. The bit on the end. We haven't had a bit on the end for a while. We need a bit on the end. When I got up this morning, the house was down to 17 degrees and out here it was 13. So I actually put the heating on. So the heating will now be left on at night. I mean, it's on the thermostat. There will still be plenty of nights where that heating doesn't actually kick in. But a night like last night, dropping down like that, it could have done with being switched on. So it's switched on now. I've got it set to 16, which is okay for now. And it also brought into the thought of, what about the cymbidiums outside? To keep our eye on these night temperatures, because they're staying out there as long as I can keep them out there, but I don't want them heading towards a frost. That will have to be avoided. For one night it probably wouldn't do them any harm, but I'd rather not risk it, you know, especially as we've got flower spikes showing. They could blast in a frost, possibly, I don't know. But anyway, thoughts went to the outside cymbidiums, and obviously they'll have to come in at some point. But I'm trying to leave that as long as possible. It doesn't worry me if it goes right out into October, but it's the night, it's those temperatures that I've got to watch. The temperatures don't matter so much during the day, they'll always be higher than at night, but it's those night temperatures, and the lowest point is normally just before dawn, which is, I'm up by then, so I can keep my eye on temperatures. This little thermometer here is going to go outside, yeah, so that I've got to check if I need it. Unfortunately it's not a minimum maximum one, but it reads very, very accurately, so I might pop that outside somewhere so that when I get up I can just walk outside and go, you know, that sort of thing. Anyway, yeah, a cold night, and apparently we've got another one tonight leading into tomorrow morning. So we'll keep our eye on the temperatures. I think tomorrow is the equinox, isn't it? Or tonight? Either tonight or tomorrow, where the day and the night lengths are the same. So from this point onwards, the days get shorter, and they're getting shorter from that 12-hour point, which is why I said we'll sort the lights out probably first week in October, something like that. I have a plan, I have a way of fixing up the big light, which is the main one, and that should be pretty secure. I won't have to worry about it falling down or anything. And the other light I'm not so sure about yet. I might just have one, but you know, there is a semi-plan in place. Anyway, an end bit. See you next time. Thanks for dropping by. And if you've got plants outside and you're in a climate similar to mine or whatever, watch those night temperatures. They can catch you out. If you're not concentrating on, because it doesn't matter to you indoors and ferreting around doing all that sort of stuff, watch out for your night temperatures. They can, you know, you can get a sudden drop. It only needs the wind to change, come down from the north, you know, low pressure and all that, and suddenly your night temperatures plummet, and sensitive plants could be damaged. So keep your eye on that. Also, those of you that grow in the home, yeah, and this will affect people as you go north, it gets colder, yeah, all that sort of stuff. Watch your orchids in windows, on windowsills, especially if they touch the glass. You can get cold burn, yeah? So watch your windowsills. Don't get drawing your curtains and shutting the plants between the glass and the curtains. You can get quite a dramatic drop in temperature under those circumstances. Yeah, so watch what you're up to with your plants. I mean, I've got plants on my kitchen windowsill. I'll have to keep my eye on those. Make sure none of the leaves are touching the glass and things like that. If possible, bring them to the nearest edge of the windowsill farthest away from the glass. There's no curtains, there's a blind in the kitchen, but I don't use it, so you know, the kitchen remains at a reasonably constant temperature. Probably the warmest room in the house, the kitchen, because it's where I do the cooking, and it's a relatively smaller space. So anyway, watch your temperatures. Yeah? See you next time.